Vampires have been a part of human folklore for centuries, with their origins tracing back to ancient civilizations. The concept of the vampire as we know it today began to take shape in Eastern Europe during the 18th century. These early vampires were often depicted as bloated, ruddy-faced corpses that would rise from their graves to feast on the blood of the living. The fear of these creatures was so intense that people would go to great lengths to protect themselves, including staking corpses through the heart, decapitating them, or burning them to ensure they would not return. As the vampire legend spread, it evolved and took on new characteristics. In the 19th century, literature played a significant role in shaping the modern vampire myth. Bram Stoker's Dracula, published in 1897, introduced many of the traits we now associate with vampires, such as their aristocratic demeanor, ability to shapeshift, and aversion to sunlight. This novel, along with other works of fiction, helped to cement the image of the vampire in popular culture. Vampire myths are as varied as the cultures that tell them. In some legends, vampires are created through a curse or by being bitten by another vampire. In others, they are the result of improper burial practices or the restless spirits of the dead. Common themes in vampire myths include their need to drink blood to survive, their immortality, and their ability to mesmerize or control their victims. Some myths also attribute supernatural powers to vampires, such as the ability to transform into animals, control the weather, or possess superhuman strength and speed. One of the most enduring aspects of vampire lore is their supposed weaknesses. According to legend, vampires can be repelled by garlic, holy water, and religious symbols such as crosses. They are also said to be unable to enter a home without an invitation and can be killed by a stake through the heart, exposure to sunlight, or decapitation. While these weaknesses have become staples of vampire fiction, there is no historical evidence to support their effectiveness. They are likely the result of cultural beliefs and superstitions that have been passed down through generations. So, take my advice, if you ever encounter a vampire in your life, no matter what you do, don't just blindly try these methods and end up getting sucked dry by them. So, now the only question arises is, where did all the vampires go? The answer lies in the evolution of our understanding of disease and death. Many of the characteristics attributed to vampires, such as their appearance and behavior, can be explained by medical conditions that were not well understood in the past. For example, the symptoms of porphyria, a rare blood disorder, closely resemble those of a vampire, including sensitivity to sunlight and a need for blood. Additionally, the decomposition process of corpses can create the illusion of a living vampire with bloated bodies and blood at the mouth. As science and medicine advanced, the fear of vampires diminished, and they became more of a fictional and cultural phenomenon rather than a real threat. Today, to most people, vampires are nothing more than our imagination through books, movies, and television shows. They are no longer seen as the terrifying creatures they once were. Instead, they have become symbols of immortality, power, and the eternal struggle between good and evil. Many people even began to think of vampire as a cool entity. But who knows? Maybe they are living their eternally long life to the fullest by disguising themselves as a normal person and enjoying human culture.